Morning, folks. Welcome to another daily devotional. This morning we're going to be thinking about the words of our Saviour that we find in Matthew chapter 6 and verse 20. Jesus says, "But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moth and rust do not destroy, where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." All of us like to save up so as to have something in the bank for a rainy day. Or perhaps we're at the stage of life where we are saving up and trying to put money away for our future when we come to retire. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, people can become obsessed with treasures on earth, with saving up and having a good bank balance and having the latest in all the furnishings in their house and their modern technology and so on. Jesus is here warning us against that. And basically, he's reminding us that no matter how much you have here, it can disappear in an instant. The real place to seek to deposit treasure is in the bank of heaven. Let me tell you about a couple of people who were at one stage rich in this world, and then they ended up with nothing. That which they had worked to achieve ultimately came to nothing. An Icelandic billionaire whose name I can't pronounce. The source of his wealth was that he was a majority shareholder in one of the chief banks in Iceland. He was worth about $1.1 billion in 2008. How much did he lose? He lost his entire fortune as a result of the Icelandic banking collapse of 2008. $1.1 billion. And literally overnight, it was gone. Thieves didn't break in and steal it, but a collapse in the economy meant that it was wiped out in no time. Here in Ireland, there is a man known as the Celtic construction tiger. I'm not going to name him, but the source of his wealth was construction, insurance, and real estate. He had amassed a fortune of over $6 billion in 2008. How much did he lose? He lost all of that and ended up over $3 billion in debt. What was the cause? The collapse of the Irish property bubble in 2008 and also the nationalisation of the Anglo-Irish Bank in 2009. He was storing up treasures on earth, and those treasures disappeared. We're all familiar with John D. Rockefeller. He made his fortune from oil. The total size of his fortune was $360 billion in 2015. He lost over $709 million in the Great Depression of 1929. And the point of these illustrations is that people can amass great fortunes on earth. They can work hard and make a profit and put it away in banks, and it seems that it's secure, and yet it can disappear overnight. Jesus in Matthew 6 and 20 is telling us, get your perspective proper, get your priorities clear. Look at things not from the perspective of earth, but from the perspective of heaven. Not from the perspective of the limited time that you have here in this world, but from the perspective of the eternity that lies beyond this world. And Jesus says that we are to store up treasures in heaven, where rust and moth can't eat them away or corrode them, where thieves can't break in and steal them. How do we do that? Well, we do that by using what God has given us for His glory and for the good of others. Yes, of course, we've to meet our own personal needs and our family needs. We're to be responsible, but we're not to be so tight-fisted that all we think about is ourselves and accumulating more and more and more. I know a lovely Christian man who died recently, and that man had considerable amount of this world's goods, and yet he was constantly giving to others. That man has been building up treasures in heaven because he used what God gave him for the glory of God and for the benefit of others. Brethren, take to heart our Saviour's words. Do not store up treasures on earth where moth and rust can corrode them, where thieves can break in and steal them. Store up treasures in heaven. And when we get to heaven, we will have a wonderful, wonderful inheritance. May God bless you today as you seek to make lodgements into the bank of heaven. Have a good day.